All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most famous bad deals in all of literature. We're going to tear apart the Faustian bargain, not just to get the story, but to figure out how you'd build a character so compelling, so desperate that they'd actually sign away their soul. Let's get into the anatomy of this terrible, terrible deal. I mean, seriously, what's the worst deal you can possibly think of? Well, whatever you're imagining, literature probably has it beat with the ultimate cautionary tale. A transaction so high stakes, so disastrous, that it basically set the gold standard for bad life choices, the Faustian bargain. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at this pact as something we all get, a really, really bad loan. Then, we'll build a psychological profile of the kind of person who would fall for this, our perfect target. After that, we'll see the bait the lender uses to hook 'em, and finally, we'll watch it all go wrong with the inevitable foreclosure. Okay, let's start with the deal itself. To really wrap our heads around this, pretty complex theological idea, we're going to reframe it. Just think of the diabolical pact as the most predatory, high-interest loan you could ever imagine. Now, the crucial thing to get is that this isn't some kind of vague, fuzzy magic. The pact is a deal. It's a spiritual transaction with clear, non-negotiable terms. And the whole thing is defined by this catastrophic imbalance. What you get is absolutely nothing compared to what you have to pay back in the end. And that brings us right to the heart of it. You're basically taking out a loan against your own soul for some short-term gains. This makes the demon, Mephistopheles, something much scarier than a monster with horns. He's the ultimate cynical banker of the human spirit, and he's just waiting to collect on his debt. You can see right here just how perfectly the financial terms line up with the spiritual ones. The lender, that's Mephistopheles. The loan itself isn't for money. It's for a limited time of worldly gain, say ultimate knowledge or unlimited power. The collateral, well, that's the most valuable thing you own, your entire soul. And the foreclosure, when you default, and you will default, that's infinite damnation. So that just begs the question, right? Who on earth would sign up for a loan with terms like that? Now that we understand the nuts and bolts of the deal, let's build a profile of the borrower. We're going to use what we can call the Rasputin blueprint to imagine the perfect, most vulnerable target. First, you got to picture the scene. We're talking Reformation-era Germany. This was a time of absolute chaos, both socially and religiously. And this isn't just some historical detail. The world was gripped by this intense anxiety about grace, about damnation, about certainty. People were desperate for answers, which, of course, creates the perfect hunting ground for a predator. So, how do we build our character? Well, using that Rasputin blueprint. Our guy isn't some simple fool. He's probably a charismatic scholar, maybe a mystic. He's someone who already plays in that gray area of spirituality. But his real weak spots, his core vulnerabilities, are this deep, gnawing existential dissatisfaction and, this is the big one, a massive ego. An intellectual pride, a hubris that makes him believe he deserves to know more than ordinary people. This quote just nails it. This isn't just about someone being a little bit ambitious or sad. Our protagonist's whole motivation comes from this profound internal crisis, a high-stakes spiritual emptiness. And that emptiness, that is the exact weak point that our cynical banker, Mephistopheles, is designed to exploit. Okay, so we've got a desperate borrower living in a chaotic world. Now, how does the lender make the sale? Well, the pitch isn't one size fits all. It is perfectly tailored to prey on the very specific flaws of our Rasputin Faust character. You see, the temptation isn't just one thing. It's described as a two-pronged assault on the soul. It's this cleverly constructed trap that offers a solution to both of our guy's biggest problems at once, his deep-seated anxiety and his towering arrogance. So, the trap has two parts. On one side, Mephistopheles offers Gnostic certainty. He's promising to end our character's spiritual anxiety by replacing his shaky faith with cold, hard, absolute knowledge. Then, on the other side, he offers unrestricted freedom, the power to rise above all human and divine authority. See, one offer calms his fear and the other one feeds his pride. It's a perfect pincer movement on the soul. So what exactly is this Gnostic certainty? It's the ultimate forbidden knowledge. It's the promise of a master key that unlocks all the universe's secrets. For a man like our Faust, living in an age of crippling doubt, being offered the definitive truth about God, destiny, and creation, that's pretty much impossible to say no to. And this is the masterstroke, The offer of absolute knowledge is a direct appeal to the protagonist's biggest fatal flaw, his intellectual pride. It's basically telling him you're smart enough, you're worthy enough to know the mind of God. It validates his arrogance and makes signing the pact feel less like a sin and more like his destiny.
So, we have the vulnerable borrower, and we have the perfectly tailored bait. I think you can see where this is all headed. Let's connect the dots to the tragic but totally inevitable end of this disastrous deal.
The road to foreclosure here follows a crystal clear path. It all starts with that internal crisis, that deep dissatisfaction. Then comes the perfect sales pitch that targets both fear and pride. His hubris, his arrogance, finally just overwhelms what little faith he has left. The pact is signed, the loan is granted, and the soul is officially forfeited. The collateral gets seized upon death. It's a self-destruct sequence from the very beginning. So at the end of the day, this whole story serves one very clear purpose. It is an unambiguous cautionary tale. It's a profound moral allegory warning against trading something infinite for something temporary. It's a warning against failing to read the fine print on the single most important deal of your life. And that really leaves us with a modern-day question, doesn't it? We might not be losing sleep over a theological certainty like they were back then, but we live in an age of information overload and deep uncertainty. So just think about it. If someone could offer you the one true answer to your biggest, most burning question, what would you be willing to trade for it?